Okay. Now, these next questions are going to be about the film, so anyone can answer these at will. Obviously, first off, I guess we should address that John Daly, who is the writer, is not here. So, anyone can address this. Probably Werner, you might be better to do this. What I guess I'm wanting to ask, or what I would have asked John, is, of course, the inception of this story. Was this a personal experience? And is this based on a deep-rooted spiritual belief that one contains?
Well, I can't answer if it's a personal story to him, but
Okay.
I think it is based on a spiritual belief of his, that I'm pretty sure about. Pretty sure about that,
Yeah.
and it's a story that he wrote and wanted to get across, that. Um, and in fact, segueing into that a little bit is, like I said to you a little while ago, I met him at a film festival, and
Hmm.
the way the film actually came about is he reached out to me probably a year and a bit ago and said, "Hey Werner, I've got this script I've written, and that which I'd like to do, and looking for some help with it." And then he said the really interesting thing was said, and I've already got Chanel and Diana interested in playing two of the major parts. I have shot Diana once previously, Chanel a couple of times previously. So I said, wow, he's got some two great local actresses who are also very nice people attached. So I said, yeah,
Sure.
yeah, send it over. And it kind of went from there.
The rest is history. Um,
Yeah.
I want to speak to Emma on this twofold question. Like you mentioned, Ms. Durango is our lead actor in this yet again, and I have seen her on more than one occasion. And Emma, she plays your mother in the film. So, two-part question about that. First off, did you formulate a relationship with her before you started playing as mother and daughter?
Um, no, I didn't know her before the film,
Okay.
but we definitely got really close on set, and we had a lot of fun being mother and daughter.
Ah, that's lovely, actually.
And
And the other thing too
actually,
is,
I would have to interject there. You
yeah,
you you possibly forgot this one, Emma, but you actually did both meet up, even if it was only for half an hour, at my house a couple of weeks beforehand and got to know each other a little bit.
ah,
Because that is where I took the mother and daughter photos of you holding the ping pong bats and out in the backyard, which are, so one's behind the candle and one is behind the bed throughout the film. And at, I think it was at T-Buff, and I actually gave Emma one of those two pictures from the film. So she has that picture. I haven't seen Diana in person. She's flying around all over the place doing all
no,
sorts
I
of stuff.
heard, yeah.
The other
Yeah,
one is still sitting here for Diana.
yes. That's why I figured I'd ask you, Emma, about building a relationship. And second of all, because this concept or some of the concepts in the story, was it hard for you to understand the concept of the full concept of the story? Because you're a young lady, obviously you're not much older. Was it hard for you to comprehend all of that?
When I first read the script, it took me a while to like process and like comprehend what was happening.
Sure.
But then my mom actually explained it to me, and then I got it pretty well, and I understood the thing by the time we were shooting it.
Lovely. Okay. Now, Jennifer, I'm going to flip over to you for 1 second. When you developed your character, I'm always interested to ask how much of it was the writing for you that made you want to do it? Was it a belief in the story itself? Was it the relationships? Why sign on to this? And what did you bring to that character that was not necessarily lacking in the script? That's poor frame.
Hmm.
More to say, what did you enhance the story with?
Um, I would say that when we were shooting, just getting with Diana and really connecting with her,
Yeah.
and her and I, there we clicked really fast. We have a lot of similar things about our personality, some depth, again, empathy, and I felt good about it to begin with.
Okay.
Like I said, I've worked with Werner. He told me about it, and I read it. I loved it. I do faith films. Mine always have some kind of faith message, something somewhere. Everyone.
Okay.
So that, of course, drew me to it. But once we got on there, the vibe I had with Diana, I felt like I could really deliver a believable caring and concern for what she was going through in the film.
Sure.
That we had that pain in common, and it was easy to do that with her, with the connection I found with her, if that makes any sense.
It totally does. I totally get what you're saying. One of the things that I found interesting about this, and me personally, as a reviewer, one thing that stood out was the candle in and of itself is a character, and it's an important component that drives the story. And so I'm just curious to ask, the actual candle itself, what is it? Where did it come from? It's beautiful, by the way. And I didn't know if it was sculpted for your film, or
Oh
did you
yeah,
just...
he can tell you.
Okay.
You know, that's kind of interesting. That's one of the same questions that John was actually asked at T-Bot
Look at
about 10
that.
days ago. And John actually ordered it. He can't actually remember what the website was, but it was from a company in Israel. So
Okay.
you know, it cost a few bucks to get
It was
that
very
shipped.
intricate, and I think that
Yeah.
he wanted to find something unique and just and he did,
Yeah.
because we've been asked like several times. Yeah, so
It's a
That's neat.
pretty unique candle,
It
and you
is.
know, and it came in that golden tin that was opened in the film.
Ah,
yeah.
very cool. I like
You
that.
know, and you know, it's the same candle in the opening, over the opening credits, as what was in the film later on. I
I
can't
getcha.
remember about. I don't think we certainly didn't burn it all down. I think we
I'm
dripped some
sure
wax
not.
onto that plate at the end just to make it look like the remnants
Oh
of
yeah.
a candle, because that
Yeah.
candle is huge. I mean, that's, you know,
Yeah, no
probably
kidding.
6 inches tall.
Gosh.
It would burn for
Now,
days. But
I know this based on just research outside of your film itself. It has been said in the past, of course, that youth can serve as catalysts, messengers of the deceased. That's been said before. I understand that. Obviously, I want to ask the question, and maybe you can't answer this. This might be a John question, but is it possible that the messages that the child was giving to her mother are things that she already had known? So were you trying to basically have the loved one speak, or are you trying to say that our young ones can be messengers for things we need to hear? Does that make sense?
I don't know that I can answer that one. I think that
That's okay if you
that
can't.
is a John question.
Okay, I can
But,
ask John that question and find that out. Okay, so here's another question. So, as to Jennifer, this is probably a good question for you.
Okay.
In the scenes that you were doing, obviously, when you have a complex story, it can be very difficult and be very personal for people. So when you're working on a set, like in this particular case where it's such a heavy subject matter, did you all as a cast try to make things light when you're not filming? I've heard that before, that people sometimes lighten the mood so as to handle something intense.
Wow, it was the opposite for
Oh,
this. Absolutely. Diana and I had never spent, I think I maybe, Werner, it's funny, it's so good at your memory about this, but I don't think I had only met her once, I believe, at a table reading.
okay.
Bricks. 10 years ago, like 9 years ago, one time didn't get, I only said hello, whatever. But on this, we had, like I said, it was an instant connection. We had some
Yeah.
deep conversations, just like profound conversations together, and also prep together in this relationship. So yeah, I would say it was, and that's the first time I've done that, because I do my own prepping. I have my own ways of doing things, like most actors bring it in, but yeah, so my answer is it was definitely the opposite.
I gotcha. Okay. To those that
Yes,
might be,
and I mean, it was actually, I mean, this, their scene was basically shot at the front of my house. And, other than the technical thing of, we had to block out sun. So I was putting big
sure,
blackout drapes so that there weren't sort of shadows all over them and that. But these two
okay,
ladies were getting into it.
I
That
bet.
We were.
I mean, I think if we got on, and it took a couple of hours to shoot that, we'd have had them as basket cases, mutually feeding tears to each other if it had
Yeah,
continued for too much longer. It
I
was
Yeah.
get
not
it.
a case of,
I,
go in there, do a sob story, and then okay, I'm done. Let's have a
it's gotta,
coffee.
it's gotta, it's gotta come from the heart. It won't be believable. It has to be coming from the heart.
Oh,
And,
no, yeah.
and I cherish that filming. I do because of that, some of those reasons.
I get you.
Yeah.
Now, to those of us who happen to have not caught the film or don't know what The Candle is about, as a reviewer and as a person who's watched it, I don't know, 7 times now, I think, 6 or 7 times. The takeaway that I took from this is that 3 different things. First off, it's the story of a mother and a daughter and their bond and how love can break through certain barriers. It's a story about how our deceased can also be present in our lives, even when unexpected. And more importantly, it's also a story about the messages that get conveyed to us and whether we choose to listen to them or not. But
Yeah.
I'm not involved in this project. So if I were to ask the ensemble to tell me in 2 sentences what the candle means to you, what does that answer look like?
Hmm.
That's a,
I'll let you go
that's
on that one first, Werner.
that's a tough one. Well, I have to say, to me, it's kind of a story of loss, in the fact that obviously, this mother is losing her daughter, who
Yeah.
is, critically ill. We don't ever find out what the
Yeah.
illness is. And then through mysterious ways, the daughter is kind of discovering a message of faith and passing it on to her mom. And obviously, at the end, the mom is devastated, but you kind of hope that, yes, the mom's going to do okay ultimately, albeit it may take some time. So it's kind of a sad story, but in some way it does have a little bit of uplifting quality to it
Yeah,
as well.
there's hope to it, without a doubt. I do think
That's what I was
there's.
going to say. It is, to me, it's more of the way he wrote it. It is definitely more a message of hope for humanity, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it definitely as a positive, sad, a sad way of telling, giving hope and, to humanity. I mean, that's how I saw it. It just everything that he wrote that she said to Diana, was to me encouraging. But I'm a woman of faith, so. But I
Yeah.
mean, even if you're not, to me it was a wonderful thing to spread. So it was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You betcha. And then as far as you, young Emma, being a young girl, what does this movie mean to you?
This movie means this one was one of my favorite movies. I'll tell you that. Kind of like heartfelt and like very like connected with like people.
Okay. That sounds about right at the basic level, I would say. Very well put. Thank you. Warner, if I were to ask you, if people want to see The Candle and didn't get a chance to do Art is Alive, what's up next?
Well, The Candle is going to be screening in 2 film festivals next month.
Okay.
The first one is the Sunshine City Film Festival in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm
Yes.
not sure the exact date. It's something around about the 16th, 17th. And then it's also going to be showing in the Saints and Sinners Film Festival at the end of January in Newport
Nice.
Richey.
Okay.
I think that's something like about the 25th, 26th. And then there are still a number of festivals that it's been submitted to for later in the year. So we've got our
Gotcha.
fingers crossed for some more screenings.
Absolutely. And yes, to those of you that do not know, this film has received a nomination for Best Written Film Screenplay, which I'm super excited to say on that. So congratulations to that. I'm very excited for you all. And then for each of you collectively, please let us know how to find you on social media.
So I'm just Jennifer Yeomans Davis, that I go by, even though I have a production company, I go by my full name on IMDb and on social media.
Gotcha. Okay. And Werner?
Yep, I'm just Werner Jauch on Facebook, and that basically is the social media. I believe my daughter set up an Instagram for me many years ago, but I don't go on there. So
Yes, I gotcha. Okay. And Emma, where can folks find you or follow you?
They can find me on Instagram and Facebook
Okay.
at Emma Otis Official.
Okay.
And I also have a YouTube channel. It's Emma N. Otis.
Okay.
And yeah,
That's
that's
it,
where
huh?
you can find me.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you guys so much for that. I don't want to forget to ask, of course, we should probably give a shout out how to find Diane and also how to find John Daly on social media. Where are they at?
John Daly probably goes, I think, by John Daly on Facebook.
That's what I thought.
But
Yeah.
he does also have John Daly Project is his he is a musician and a guitarist, and he also wrote the music for the film. So he has got John Daly Project, and I would like to think johndailyproject.com is his website.
That's what I thought. Okay. And then of course, Ms. Durango has a website. I know she's on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
She's certainly on IMDb. She's also
Right.
on Facebook as well, I know.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay, gotcha. And of course,
Yeah. I haven't seen her website, but she probably does have one.
yeah,
But
I just couldn't remember that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I can always put the names of individuals online so people can see that. So in
Yeah,
closing, let me
that'd be
just say,
Thank you.
thank you guys so much for being here and for sharing this wonderful story and for allowing me to allow other people to see such a touching spiritual project. It really is very well written. I absolutely love the meaning behind it. And as usual, I'm always excited to film or to show films, I should say, for my Florida crew. So it's
Mhm.
always a pleasure to have you back again. So thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
You
you.
betcha.